Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this presentation on the NRF SASTA's Olympiads and competitions, specifically for 2024. Let me start straight away by showing you all the dates that you're going to need so that you can plan accordingly. As you can see, all the dates are in July, and this is the second week after the schools have reopened in July. So there will be enough time for us to get papers to you, enough time for you to get back to us should there be any hiccups. You will see in the right-hand column there, we indicate to you that all the questions are multiple choice questions, the MCQ, multiple choice questions, and you will see the number of questions per each of these competitions, including the duration of the paper. So only 1.5 hours for grade 4 to 6 learners, and the rest you can read yourself. If there's any one of you currently watching this recording and you are interested in Astro Quiz for grade 7 learners, please note that there is a separate presentation on that, and you're most welcome to go and have a look at that. Now, let's look at the rest of the information here. So the opening of registrations is going to start on the 15th of February, which means you've got enough time to think, you've got enough time to get all the learner names and detail that we will need together. The closing date for this one is the 31st of March. You will notice that this is after the schools have closed for the March-April school holiday, and that is specifically because we know sometimes your life is extremely busy as an educator, and there's still a few days after the schools have closed for you to deal with the entries. Then the date for payment and the entry fee is 35 Rand. And by the way, that has been staying the same for the past 6 or 7 years now. The final date for payment of the fees is the 31st of May. We all know that most parents in the first term struggle with finances. Hence, we said, please just make sure that you register no later than 31 March, but we only need payment by 31 May. That means it's before the Olympiad takes place. Now, you will receive a link for registration, and we will be sending an email to all schools who participated in 2023. If you are new in 2024, please send us your email address, your school name, and your province so that we can send you that link and that invitation. I will provide you with that email on the last page of this presentation. So what happens at the school? All the Olympiads are being written at your own school. You make your own arrangements. We will inform you of the exact times. Usually for the primary school learners up to grade 9, it's in the morning, especially because the primary school learners have to catch transport earlier than the high school learners, and the high school learners normally write in the afternoon, but before 5 o'clock, so that they're still in time to catch transport back home. So you organize an invigilator or invigilators, depending on how many learners are being entered. And if needed, you will know the circumstances at your school to book a venue in time or a classroom, whichever suits the school best. So why are we having Olympiads? Olympiads can help you to teach the learners or to use it as a test of concepts and application. Do they understand what you've taught them in the classroom? All the concepts, can they apply it? So especially in the physics paper as well as the life science paper, these are the kind of things that will be tested in such a paper. Of course, it prepares them for future competitive exams. It gives them an opportunity to shine. There are prizes, there are certificates involved. It motivates them to work harder. And it also improves their performance in the school, because you will be able to use the paper in the classroom afterwards for revision. But it will help them with their logical and reasoning skills. There's inductive reasoning, there's deductive reasoning, and there's abductive reasoning in some of these papers. So you will be able to use this in the classroom afterwards. So how can you use the classroom? These are just a few ideas. You can do whatever suits you best in the school. So later in the year, you can use it as revision. You can explain a concept by using a specific question. You can also use a question to explain. You remember there are 4 possible answers that they can choose from. So you can use it to explain, but why can't the answer be C, or the answer is C and why not B, for example? You can do group work. You can give each of the groups a few questions and they must go and work it out and solve it by themselves. You can set expectations for each of these assignments per group. You decide how many learners you want to have in your group. And of course, it can also prepare them for the national benchmark tests. So how will this work? How will you receive the paper and what is the logistics after that? We will print the papers and we will courier it to you. The learners tick the answers or shade the answers on a specific answer sheet. Those answer sheets you will be couriering back to us. You may use any courier you like. Currently, we are recommending the Paxi courier services from PEP stores because they are the cheapest as far as we could ascertain, but you are most welcome to use any of them. I want you to be aware of this because you need to budget for this cost so that it doesn't come as a surprise when you receive the papers. So what does the papers look like? As you could see earlier on in the presentation, depending on which grade you are and which subject, it's either 40, 60, or 100 multiple choice questions. And these papers are available in English and in Afrikaans. So when you register, you will be asked to tick which learners are going to take the Olympiad in which language. So 50% of the paper will be aligned to the CAP syllabus and 50% beyond. And I will explain what beyond means in my next slide. So here you can clearly see in grade 4, 15% of the questions will come from, not grade 4, let me repeat that. The paper is for grade 4 to 6, one paper. But there will be 15% questions pertaining to grade 4 syllabus, 20% for grade 5, 15% for grade 6, and that is how your 50% of the CAP syllabus is made up. Here you can see the rest. Now let's have a look at what beyond means. Here we go. We use Bloom's taxonomy and we use the bottom 4. The 50% beyond questions will consist of 20% of remembering, 30% understanding, 30% application, and 20% analyzing or analysis, that the learners must be able to do that. That is what beyond mean. Beyond does not mean it's going to be a question based on the grade 12 syllabus or a question based on first year university. It is still on the work that they are supposed to know. Now, I quickly want to talk about once you register the learners, each learner will be receiving an exam number. Now, I'm quickly going to take this through you through this, and perhaps we will also explain it in emails to you. Each exam number per learner consists of 8 digits. Your first 2 digits tells us in which province this learner is. The next 3 will tell us which school. So you will see once you get this exam number for your school, your first 5 digits for each learner in your school will look the same, because you're in the same province and in the same school. The last 3 digits will tell us which learner in that school it is. So let's say in this instance, you've enrolled 70 learners, and this is the number for learner number 68. Now, if it happens that on the day of the exam, you suddenly have 2 more learners who pitches up and says, ma'am or sir, I really would like to take this exam. What do you do then? Because you might not be able to get hold of us. Have a look. The numbers will follow sequentially, and I'm talking about the last 3 numbers. Look at this example here. The first learner is 001. And let's say this teacher enrolled 73 learners. Can you see it goes up to 73? So what you do with the 2 new learners who pitched up on that day, you give them the next 2 numbers consequentially. It will be learner number 074 and learner 075, as easy as that. What I would like you to please remember, if your school enroll the same learner for both physics and for life science, for example, the learner's exam number will differ. It's a different Olympiad and it's a different memo with which that answer sheet will be marked. So please don't use the same number for 2 different Olympiads. You will see, we will send it to you. It will be in the same envelope as the answer sheets. Now, our learners do receive certificates. Each and every learner who scored below 50% will receive an electronic participation certificate. We will send it to you. You will complete it with all of those learner names. Each and every learner who scored a 50% and above will receive a printed certificate. There will also be prizes, and who will be receiving something. The winners will be the top 3 learners national and the provincial winner. In other words, each of the provinces will also have a provincial winner. Kindly just keep in mind that we reserve the right not to award a specific category. I'll give you one example. Let's say we find the 3rd place national. There are 15 learners qualifying. Surely you will understand that financially that will then not be possible for us to award that category. And that is just so that you understand where this sentence of reserve the right not to award a category comes from. So here are the email addresses that I promised earlier in this presentation. If you are enrolling any learner, doesn't matter for which of the 2 papers for natural science, apologies, this is the address, NSOPS. The NS stands for natural science and OPS for olympiads at sasta.ac.za. If you enroll learners for either physical science or life science, very easy, science olympiad, one word, at sasta.ac. Please take note of the AC. Many people think it's .co.za. The AC stands for academic in this case. The moment you type in .co.za, unfortunately, your email doesn't reach us. And the contact people who will be looking after these 2 email inboxes on our side will be my 3 colleagues mentioned here below. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, thank you very much for your attention, and we are really looking forward to all your entries. And you are most welcome to send any queries to us on the 2 email addresses that I've just shared with you. Thank you very much.